All right, here we go. Talk about the Giants now, and this is going to be interesting because we know the Giants are loaded offensively. I mean, this could be the team that makes the Bengals like leap. If I'm betting on any team to make a Bengals like leap, the Texans are the last person I bet. I bet the Dolphins over that, and I could definitely bet on the Giants making that Bengals like leap. But the salary cap could get in the way, so we'll go through this article. But just overall, offensively, they've got so much talent. Let's bring up the depth chart up here. Obviously, bringing in Brian Daboll as their head coach was, the thing that really kicked off our big optimism on the Giants moving forward. So they got the right hire. They got a offensive mind guy at the head coaching position. We've got Daniel Jones, who, this is going to be his last season, sink or swim. This is all you've got. Everybody's kind of been giving you the benefit of the doubt, which is kind of surprising. Honestly, I'm always surprised when I go on social media and everybody is still giving Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt. Now, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I still want to give Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt, and I will still be giving Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think we've ever seen this ever by anybody in the media or everybody on social media all collectively together giving Daniel Jones like his fourth opportunity. I mean, people are ready to kind of rip their quarterbacks' heads off after 1 year, even though they've been proven and having one down year. People are giving no love to Baker Mayfield, and he's winning games at the minimum. Not so quite this season, but last year he was winning games. Daniel Jones never won anything in the NFL. So the fact that everybody is still behind Daniel Jones, I kind of love it. I do kind of respect y'all for that. So I will give y'all credit for not abandoning Daniel Jones and doing the classic, oh, he's garbage, he's garbage, he's garbage. So that's definitely surprising. And I'm always surprised when I go on social media and see, oh, Daniel Jones is good. I was like, yeah, Daniel Jones is good. You're right. Yeah. So shout out to y'all for that. But yeah, we got Daniel Jones, Brian Daboll. That should work. Maybe not to the level of Brian Daboll and Josh Allen, but I mean, on the basis, they are the same quarterback. And I know everyone's saying, oh, don't you ever compare Josh Allen to Daniel Jones. And I get that at like the surface level. I get it. But overall, I mean, they're bigger quarterbacks. They're a little bit beefier. Josh Allen a little bit more beefier. They both have strong arms. Maybe Josh Allen a little bit of a stronger arm. They're both good runners. Yes, Josh Allen a little bit better. But overall, on the same basis, they are the same prototypical quarterback, so it should work on some level. Then you go with Saquon Barkley, who, this is the one that, how everybody, agrees Daniel Jones can be good. Saquon Barkley, not everybody's behind Saquon Barkley and giving him the benefit of the doubt. So Saquon Barkley may be good, may not. Overall, you've got a solid running back. I don't think it's any worse than the average. It's obviously not Derrick Henry-esque because, obviously. But it's solid. Good tier 2 running back. It's winning football running back. I guess we can win with Saquon Barkley, right? Is that where we can all agree we can win with Saquon Barkley on our team and get good production from him on a gamely basis? He's not all-star, he's not tier 1, but he's good, he's winnable. Can we all agree on that? I think we can. Then the wide receivers, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney. And Kadarius Toney, folks, we're still holding out hope that this man could be fantastic. A little bit of Tyreek Hill-esque. Obviously not as good as Tyreek Hill. Like Daniel Jones, not as good as Josh Allen, but same kind of prototypical receiver. We can still get that out of Kadarius Toney. And then we have Darius Slayton, John Ross. So we're going 5 deep receivers here that are all pretty good. I mean, I would take these wide receivers on my team. I've got speed, I got size, I got strength. Is there any beef here? Is Sterling Shepard beefy? I don't know if we got the beef at the receiver position. He's 201. Okay, I'll give him that. But we've got some solid height and some solid speed there, and that's really what you need from the wide receiver position. Look at Cooper Kupp, look at Tyreek Hill, getting it done. Look at Jamar Chase, getting it done in the Super Bowl, all that. So the receivers are solid, the running back's solid, the quarterback is solid, and then the tight ends, Evan Ingram, and they've got Kyle Rudolph. So the offense is truly stacked here, but they may be a little bit over the cap, and that's where we're going to get whether or how great this Giants team can be. It's really all going to be who they keep on their team. So we get this right here. Giants general manager Joe Schoen says the New York has, quote, some tough decisions to make on roster to get below the salary cap. So this is where the Giants could run into a big old kind of roadblock. They are taking off. They are jet setting at the current moment with everything that they have. But once the new league season rolls around and they have to start making the tough decisions, that's where we can see this great talented roster at the moment get a little bit depleted. So let's quickly read some quotes here, see what the general manager kind of what his overall thinking is, what he kind of plans on doing, and if we could still maybe be this excited, because we're big on this Giants team. And I know we were big on this Giants team last offseason, but now we got Brian Daboll, so we're back into the driver's seat of loving this Giants team. But let's see what their potential plan is going to be and who they may potentially have to cut to get under the salary cap. Are we just talking about, maybe honestly getting rid of Saquon Barkley? You may just have to bite the bullet, get a running back in the draft, get another running back in free agency or whatever it is. But I think you really have to keep the receivers. I would keep the receivers over Saquon Barkley. And I don't want to knock Saquon Barkley or take that as a dig. I like Saquon Barkley. We have a canvas of him, folks, right there, that beefy leg. We loved it all off season. But if there's somebody to get us under the salary cap, I think I gotta go with Saquon Barkley. And I know his contract's got to be pretty good, or is he still under the rookie? But let's go into the article to truly find out. So here we go. All right, here we go. First quote. So let's read the lead up here. Gettleman went shopping in 2021 and retirement called him from the table before the bill came due. Schoen is stuck with the tab and now needs to figure out how to maneuver the Giants into financially solvent position entering 2022, starting with shedding roughly $12 million in existing salary to get under the league's projected $208.2 million salary cap. Now, we do expect the salary cap to increase from last season to this season, and they still need to get under the salary cap. That is truly overspending. And then weren't they kneeling the ball? Weren't the Giants the one kneeling the ball like week 17 from their own 5-yard line on like third down? They were kneeling the ball. Wasn't that the Giants? So you spend all this money just to kneel the ball? How crazy. David Gettleman, thank goodness that man is gone. Oh my goodness. All right, but here we go. First quote by the general manager says, quote, first off, we have to get underneath the cap. We have to make some tough decisions here in the near future just to get in a place where we can sign draft picks and be below the cap. There's a fine line because you can't purge. Alrighty, so, we don't get any real insight by him. Let's read in this article, they're kind of outlining some numbers here. So here we go. James Bradberry is the first player who comes to mind thanks to his 2022 cap number of $21.8 million. Oh my goodness. All right, James Bradberry, I believe he's on the defensive side of the ball. He is their corner. All right, and we know this Giants defense was pretty solid, so seems like they may be looking defensively first before they go offense, and that's, makes a little bit of sense because you get Brian Daboll, you're going to let him kind of be like, no, I want everything offensively you already have, so cut that defensive out. Whatever it is, we'll cut the defense. So James Bradberry, potential cornerback, will be on the market, trying to clear up $21.8 million. We get Adoree Jackson join the New York on a 3-year deal that included a cap-friendly first year that is suddenly not as welcoming in 2022. Jackson's cap number jumps from $6.7 million to $15.2 million. So another corner out here. So they may be a little bit weaker defensively, may have to get a little bit younger here defensively. To kind of, keep up under the salary cap. Right behind Jackson is Blake Martinez, a tackling machine and a key part of the New York's defense, whose loss to injury significantly hindered the Giants in 2021. Cutting him would clear $8.5 million, but again, make the Giants worse. So, all right, we are kind of breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief since all kind of the big cap numbers are on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you still need defense to win the champion. That's really how the NFL always plays out, folks. Offense carries you to the big game. Defense wins you the big game. You got 2 weeks to prepare. Whatever you do offensively, the defense is going to have ample time to figure it out and shut it down. And that's what, the Rams did. Final drive, defense, sacking Joe Burrow, and there it is. He can only get to midfield. The offense that was so great all season, Joe Burrow was always so clutch, getting up after every single sack. Joe Cool, Joe Shiesty, Joe Clutches Hack, big time throws, down, coming back, all of that. No, it's no dice at the end of the day because the defense wins the championships. So we still need a defense, but we still, first, building a good team, you need the offense to put up some points at some point. So offense gets you to the playoffs, wins you some playoff games. Defense wins you the ring. And this Giants team, we're not expecting them to, are we expecting them to win the ring year one with Brian Daboll? I would say a little bit of a process, getting 8, 9, 10 wins and getting into a playoff game. I think that's basically the first step that they kind of have to do here. I don't think we go from, financial disaster right before the season starts to Super Bowl winners. So we are still going to be a little concerned about this Giants defense. May have to kind of shore it up in the draft, and that's definitely possible because there's, I don't know, is there any big name offensively going in the draft? There's really no quarterback, and they don't need a quarterback. So maybe this is going to be a very big defensive heavy draft, and they can clean up by, getting under the cap and then just going young defensively. Could happen. All right, here else we go. Now we're getting into some offensive players here. Here we go, Saquon Barkley. The bad news on Barkley. The Giants are going to have to play this out or find a trade partner interested in taking on $7.2 million in guaranteed salary for 1 year for 2022. We get Kenny Golladay. His cap goes from 4.47 to 21. Oh my God. He gets $21.15 million this season. That's another kind of quick cut as well. And then once again, we did say that they're very deep at wide receiver. We know Kenny Golladay would probably be, A1 tier 1 with this roster, but you get rid of him, you can keep the defense. We're just trying to get under 12. They got to cut 12 million, I believe it said, and he's worth 21 at this moment. So maybe you get rid of Kenny Golladay. That could also work as well. All right, we get 2 more quotes from Sean. So here we go. Let's read the first lead up here quickly. Yes, here we go. Injuries factored into our evaluation of a lot of these players. Golladay has had his medical struggles in recent seasons, as did teammate Sterling Shepard in 2021. Here's another one who could be on the move, though a departure wouldn't make the Giants better anywhere but on the books. So here we go. Joe Schoen says, quote, "The players were paid those contracts they're making because at some point they were performing at a certain level. Whether they were overvalued or maybe they got more than how they were performing or not, that's where you're going to have to free up some money." And definitely injuries devastated the Giants at the back end of the season. Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney. Everybody was injured on this Giants team. Truly unfortunate. So now high cap numbers coming off of injuries and all that. We'll see. Brian Daboll's going to have he's going to be in the ear of Joe Schoen here of, who we can kind of get rid of and live without offensively to make it all work. And then the last quote right here, final lead up, here it is. "With all this in mind, it's easier to understand why the Giants are positioning themselves to continue with Daniel Jones as their quarterback in 2022. Schoen doesn't have much of a choice when attempting to remedy the team's cap situation left behind by Gettleman, saying, quote, I don't want to purge the roster because we still want to find out what Daniel Jones can do. Truly that. We all just want to know, is Daniel Jones good or not? Because we see great glimpses. The man is an athlete. The man has an arm. But decision-making, leadership, accuracy for an entire season, that is truly big question marks because he's never had any offensive guys behind him. Do you all understand why having an offensive-minded coach at the head coaching position is so big? We're going into year 4 with Daniel Jones, and we have no idea what this man is, folks. All right, final quote. Back at it. We got some good pieces on defense, the fine balance, the fine line is cutting players that can really help you win, but you also got to get under the salary cap. Then you're going to have the draft pick. So we get no big insight by Schoen. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more insight, but there's big money on the defensive side of the ball. There's big money on the offensive side of the ball. And it's going to come down to which one do we have a little bit more depth on? Which one can we go a little bit younger and still be good and be competitive this season? So the Giants are going to be truly interesting to watch. Finally got rid of Gettleman, bringing in Joe Schoen. We'll see if he can bring this Giants team back to some relevance in the NFL, some relevance in their own division. But the big thing is Daniel Jones. We're going to get his final look. One final chance with Daniel Jones. Do they give him all the big support? Do they keep the big money offensively? Do they give the man no weapons at all? We'll see how it all plays out. But there's big time decisions to be made here by the Giants, and this is going to make or break it. This is where it starts, folks. When we look back, going to next season, at the end of next season, if they were good, they made the right decision on cutting the offense or defense side of the ball. If they're bad, we're going to trace it back to be like, yeah, they should not have cut Kenny Golladay. They should have went defense, anything like that. So this is where it starts. And this is why the NFL offseason is so gosh dang entertaining, folks, because it all starts now. Even though we don't play for about 7 more months, it all starts now. So we'll see how Joe Schoen and the Giants take care of their salary cap issues.